All right, welcome everybody to our July meeting of the Houston Electric Vehicle Association. So the camera's right there behind you.
Can we like move it towards the robot?
Oh, yeah.
Hold it.
You want to use this?
Yeah, we can
Got that
have.
one there.
Oh, this is not.
All right, and they wanted to see about moving the camera closer to the robot.
Or like towards the robot?
We can just turn it over.
It's not really,
Rotating it.
Oh, it doesn't.
yeah, not a very long cable, so,
All right. Okay.
okay. All righty. So we're so glad to have the Golden Warrior Robotics team here, and they get to show us their robot. It's really fantastic looking. And then we'll get to the second half of the show with Jake back there. Oh, he's waving his arm back there. And so first I'm going to go through some of the files that we have. Let's see here.
That's technical problems.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the technical problems going a little bit late here and everything. Yeah. But actually, I'll go ahead and start. I'll cover the intro slides at the very end, and because they're similar to what we did last month. The one thing that I will add right here at the beginning is a save the date for September 20th. That is the day that we're planning on doing the Wings and Wheels. Everybody's invited to come on out to the 1940 Air Terminal Museum. That's on the west side of Hobby Airport. And they've got a great display of things related to airplanes. They often have live fly-in airplanes, and we'll have a bunch of EVs there that day. So we'll celebrate Wings and Wheels as part of National Drive Electric Month. So they've expanded it from week to month. And so we'll be doing that in September. So if you can save the morning and early afternoon of Saturday, September 20th, that'd be great. All right. So now, unfortunately, in the room, we won't be able to project the slide deck that the folks here have. It is going out online. I see that already. So we'll turn it over to you all and tell us what all you've been working on, all the great stuff.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Hold on. We're gonna get the slides queued up real quick. Give me a few seconds. Oh, it's on the Zoom meeting, so it's for, everyone watching from home. Okay, well, so we're really excited to be here today. Thank you guys so much for having us. We are Golden Warriors Robotics, and we are a high school robotics team. I'd like to give a little brief introduction to kind of what we do. Our team competes under the first robotics competition. Does anyone know what that is, or anyone familiar? Okay, we got a few hands. But for everyone who doesn't know, it's like a bit like a program comparable to like team sports, where we have competitive tournaments that our robot competes in instead of like people. And it's a little similar to Formula One, where we have, our team members come in and do little engineering pit stops in between our matches and stuff, where we fix up the robot. Every year, our team designs, builds, and programs a fully functional robot within 6 weeks. Some of the goals of FIRST in our team is to prepare students for an intro to like a future in STEM fields. Our engineering process, which we're going to talk about more later, is something that a lot of our alumni have taken into the workforce with companies like SpaceX and NASA. And, a lot of them are actually next door also with Rugged Robotics. So it was pretty cool getting to meet some alumni from FIRST there. Every year, the company that we compete under FIRST, they launch a new game with different tasks that we need to design for in order to score points in our competitions. So past years have included inflatable cubes, foam rings. Sorry, there's graphics on the presentation, but you guys will just have to imagine them. And then we're going to talk about this year's challenge, which is the playground ball that you see over here. This year, although the game had 2 primary game objects, the other one was like cut pieces of PVC pipe. Our team decided to focus on these blue playground balls. And in the game manual, these are called algae. So if you hear that throughout the rest of this presentation as we demo the robot, that's what we're referring to. It's just that. And then I'm going to pass it off to some of our build team members to talk more about the robot.
So because we're designing an entire industrial sized robot, there's a lot of steps in the build process, but the most important one is the strategy, planning, and prototyping. First release is a game manual with every game, and we have to read it cover to cover to fully understand what the game includes and what we can do. This year, there's two game pieces. One of them is the algae over there, and the other is this about a foot long PVC pipe. And we chose to do algae, even though on paper it is more inefficient because we have more experience with shooting game pieces, whereas the coral would have to be placed. And then at higher level comps, doing algae allows us to pair better with the top level robots as a second pick for their alliance. So we can compete better than what we could have done with coral at state competitions and world competition. And then they can demonstrate our bot and how it shoots algae now. Oh, A or B. All right. Yeah, shoot it. Wrong. Triggered. Wrong. Right. So we don't actually have we don't have our drive team here, which might have been obvious. But yeah, it works. So and then after coming up with our robot capabilities, we then have to prototype to make sure that what we want to do works. If some of you have the slides open, you can see one of our arm prototypes on the slides. And we're basically just making sure that what we're trying to do isn't just going to blow up on our faces and we can actually compete with it. And then after that, it comes a design process where we make sketches and geometries where the different subsystems that we're playing with are going to interact with each other to make sure that we have a cohesive robot. So the intake feeds into the shooter and the end effector on the back there will pivot enough for the algae to come down into the shooter. And then after doing that geometry, we would then create our complete design in Onshape, a web-based CAD software. And it's basically just going to serve as the entire blueprint. It's just a model of this on a computer in 3D that the build people and the manufacturing people are going to use to design and cut our custom-made parts, like those polycarbonate panels you see over there, or what kind of parts we need to buy, like the hex shafts or the aluminum extrusions, and then put them together so that we can actually have our complete robot.
Yeah, it's all in 6 weeks, right? So it's a really close timeline, and we have to do all of that, including the strategy for it within that timeline. But what I want to focus on is the training that goes into our team, because yes, we do build robots. We also bring up new students. We show them, new skills. We teach them how the industry works, how to build robots, right? So all of that, I think the key underlying factor that lets us do this is trainings, right? Our team places a really big emphasis on trainings, regardless what sub team they're in, right? Mechanical, CAD, electrical. We like to really bring up our new members and show them the ropes. So then this training our members is two things, right? It preps them for the future when they have to lead the team and they have to make executive decisions. Oh, what we have to do. This year we decided to do shoot the algae. This was really different and it was actually really rare. You wouldn't see a lot of teams doing this, right? Because it's a strategic trade-off, right? So there's another game piece, coral, and the main scoring element was the coral, but we can't do coral that well. But what we chose to focus on was a niche, which is algae. So it's like the strategy going behind that. You learn that through a lot of experience and a lot of, playing around, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And that's what these trainings are for, right? We train our new members in building. Build is really, of course, a lot of trainings need to go into it. But yeah, trainings are really important and we place a really big emphasis on them.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna come in and talk a little bit more about some of the subsystems that you might see on the robot. So our electrical system, there's better graphics through the slides, but if you can kind of see here, I mean, I guess it's not really visible from this angle, but it's the panel. Yeah, you can rotate it if you want. It's the panel that's in the back on the really tall part of the robot. One of the main parts of the electrical system is the Robo Rio. I don't know if you guys can see again. It's like this, you guys can come up later and take a closer look if you're interested. But there's like a little big black like square on there. That's kind of like the brain of the robot, and it transmits information with CAN wires spanning our entire control system. Yeah, so there's the panel, if you guys can see. This system of components serves to control various different motors and sensors that our robot utilizes for different tasks. And when it comes to building the system, we do a lot of things to plan it out and coordinate with the other design groups as well. We plan out some of the positions of the components in this CAD software called Onshape. And that's how we design this entire panel that you see here. And when we have our positions for everything set, we use like photo editing tools to plan out where the wires go and everything, to make it more efficient, like when we build it. To make our polycarb panels, again, we work with other systems like manufacturing and CAD to help, ensure that everything is properly integrated within the design.
Great, yeah. So on the software side, our team uses a few tools that kind of mirror electric vehicles. Like one which we use, it's called Path Planner. It's like this automatic path generation software. And what it does, it just streamlines generating autonomous paths, which we use during the first 15 seconds of a match, which we call the autonomous period, where our bot just works independently. It's kind of similar to like real-time navigation some electric vehicles have. And then another piece of tech that we use is our vision system. It's called the Limelight. Around the field, the game field, we have these sort of QR code like markers. And then what the Limelight vision system will do, it'll like scan them, and then it'll allow us to like accurately localize with the field, so we know exactly where our bot is relative to the field. And then through that, we do sensor fusion using a common filter that some electric vehicles use. And for using that, we get like really accurate data on where we're positioned around the field. And so the Limelight, I think you can see on like the back there. Yeah, right there. So that's what it looks like. We have two of them on the bot. One of them looks at like up because there's a barge sort of. It's like a basketball hoop type thing where there's a marker on it, and just looks at that so we can move towards that, and then we can shoot that algae into it. And then the other one goes to like a reef face where we actually pick up the algae from, and then we use that camera to align to it, so then we can grab it from there. Oh yeah, so this is what we call the arm.
This gets it from the beak of the algae, like on here. And this
So it's
will get
also, so it's just accepting the lighting.
Yeah. And this
Kind of
one will
check
check
it
out.
Okay, yeah. So to take it away from, the mechanical side for a little bit, our team is currently 5 years old, and we've gotten to experience so much through our last few seasons. I think we really focus on game strategy, as some of my fellow officers have said earlier, and like maximizing the resources that are available to us, especially because we are such a new team. And that's one of the reasons we've been able to, qualify for state championships and even qualify for the world championship twice in the past few years. A lot of what we've been able to do is due to our mentors who work in fields like engineering, computer science, and so much more. One of whom is actually Mr. Phil right here. Yeah, he is an integral part of this team. He helps us so much with systems like electrical design, literally pretty much everything, really. Like we would not be a team without Mr. Phil. And our team is actually currently looking for more mentors to help with both technical and business related tasks. So, yeah, we are based in Katy, Texas, which is about an hour out from this location. So that might be, an issue for some people. But if you have friends in the area, definitely maybe refer them to us. Yeah, so I did say we need help on both the technical and business side. Although we are a robotics team, we work a lot with things like team branding, photography, media. We have a finance team behind the scenes who does a lot to secure grants, sponsorships, and funding for our team. Yeah, as you can see, this is a really expensive thing to build. We raise a lot of money every year to make this sustainable. We also focus a lot on community outreach. That's something we really care about, especially with STEM education. There's like a slide presentation going on, but you can come talk about summer camps.
So, as Grace was saying, we focus on a lot of things like community outreach as well. This year, we hosted a summer camp where we raised 15,000 around in 4 days. We taught kids VEX IQ, EV3, and STEAM experiments like bottle rockets. And we also introduced them to FRC and FTC.
Yeah, thank you. And another program that we've run is like education or robotics lessons for special education kids in the elementary schools in our district and also in our like local high school. Stuff like donation, community outreach through things like donation drives, education workshops is something that we're really looking to expand this year as well. So, and we're also, looking to appear at like more like things or like events in general. If anyone has anything they'd like us to demo a robot at, definitely reach out to us. But that's about all we had for you guys today. Thank you all so much for being a great audience. If you have any questions, want to come take a closer look at the robot, feel free to do that now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, team. So, questions, folks here in the room first?
Which high school are you associated with, or is it independent?
Which high school?
We're with Jordan High School and Katy ISD. Yeah.
They don't. Throw any money away, or?
We get some funding from the district, but this thing costs what? It's like $60,000. It's a lot. Yeah. 16. Oh, sorry. That's our, well, yeah. But we need to cover things like bus costs. It's we still do a lot of fundraising outside of that. Yeah, I think we had a hand over there. Yeah, we can run it. We can run it.
Oh, yeah, we
Oh yeah,
There's no problem. I think we can run it out there.
So like we'll do this like
Oh.
questions, we can take it outside and.
yeah, over here.
Describe, I mean, I've been in this competition where usually like you have to pick, I've seen it where you have to pick something.
Mhm.
Put it in someplace else. It's like basketball, it's where you have to put it, shoot it in, put it more in it. Like how many balls can you get in a certain amount of time?
That's a really good question. Yeah, pretty much like our objective for this year's game was like basketball adjacent. We would like pick it up from yeah, it's like a shelf kind of thing, and then we would pick it up using that and then throw it through, and then it would shoot. It shoots a little higher than this for like the actual matches. Regarding things like cycle time, I think one of you can answer that.
9 LT on our side. There's 2 sides of the field for each alliance. 9 LT on each side of the field. 6 of them are on the reef, the shelving, and 3 of them are on the ground. And because they can be found in both locations, we got 2 different ways to intake it. And in cycle time, we're pretty fast, which is like shooting the algae. If we're going to be an algae focused ball, we can like make an elevator arm that lift it up there. But if we're going to be completely focused on algae, then shooting is arguably efficient. Like you can argue either way, but it's pretty fast. It takes 8 seconds, maybe. Right?
Yeah, we can probably demo it outside as well.
How many cycles do you get? We can probably do that.
Yeah, that's in like a 2-minute-ish time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a question over there.
Well, we don't have.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a battery there.
So that's kind of a limit on power. Like a lot of the car racing series, they limit the power, they put restrictors. Stop the shoe. They put more motors, but they suck down the battery voltage.
Here's one of the batteries, in one of the batteries.
yeah, do we have any more questions? Oh, right here.
So the sensors you're using for detecting the pollution or the localization, are you guys like using AI for automation? Have you started learning to use that yet, or is it all manually controlled with the controller?
Mainly we just control with the controller. We did have a slight automation where we would hold down a trigger and then it would move like towards that fiducial tag, and it would like line up straight to it. And then we can shoot into like the basketball type thing. We have been working into getting into AI. We want to like work at having like the cameras detect say the algae, and then we can move towards it to pick it up like that. That's like one of the things we've been working on, but newer.
To build some models so that it knows exactly how much power it needs to throw in the basket every time.
Yeah, did quite a lot of tuning, I believe, when working with getting that shot. We would tweak like the power and then also like the arc specifically.
But it's still being controlled.
Yes, it's part of the set, and then like the drive. We have a driver and an operator controller. The driver will move it around, perform certain actions, shooting, and the operator will do, say, picking up the algae, rotating the arms and such.
Is automation part of the challenge? Like,
Yeah,
if you guys can do that, it would just be more impressive.
Yeah, our team is like limited by resources and other factors, right? But a lot of top level teams, they implement, yeah, they use a lot of that.
So you need resources to help you.
Yeah, like in resources and relatively few, so we need time to, get to that level, build the experience, build the, expertise like that.
Yeah, so another thing we do with like the automation, we make macros. Like each of these, we code in Java, so we have like our methods, our commands, and then with these macros, we just like string them together.
Right.
And then
Obviously, you're not controlling every single motor and arm at the same time.
Yeah, it's not a
So
completely.
you're like saying, okay, shoot, and it does a whole macro.
Yeah, we hit like a button, say this one, this starts running, it intakes it in, and then we have a sensor here. It's not that visible, but it shows, it'll like capture whether or not there's something in front of it. And then whenever it's triggered, we're like, okay, we have that algae game piece in there. And then say we're automatically at that like point where we want to shoot, it can just like trigger, and then it can launch that out.
Great job, you guys are on it.
So, question over there.
You guys have like a standardized, like it's not why some standardized particle capture this, or is it 100% scratch?
Yeah, there's a couple of vendors that sell faculty parts, like these tubing, and the electrical parts. We get those from there. But FRC compared to other robotics house doesn't have as many specifications of what you need to use. So if we find like some person part that fits our purpose, then we can buy it and put it on the front, as long as all like electrical part or like something that could be potentially dangerous against them. So a lot of the electrical parts. Yeah.
All right. Do you guys want to like roll out and then we can also answer questions while we're out there? Do we have time for that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
And I'll read, so Ben in the room here actually put into the chat, big props. There are many real world skills outside of the task at hand that you built. For instance, who is the project manager? So developing project manager skills. Can we hear a negative and positive aspect that the project manager experienced? As for increased sponsorship, there's an advocacy group in Houston called the Electric School Bus Project. I know they have a large warehouse / shop that they might let you use.
Very awesome. Thank you. Wait, let me write that down. Electric school bus.
Yes,
Project.
Electric School Bus Project. And we've had the speakers from there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they're, Katy guys built a STEM center
Uh-huh.
that has a full-size field, a full-size practice field. And there's 8 shops for 8 teams, there's currently 7 teams out there.
Wow.
And they're in the process of building an expansion for 4 more shops.
Okay, so you've got the physical location part down in reference to what Ben was letting you know about. Okay. As far as the experience here in the middle, can we hear a negative and positive aspect?
But the project, okay. I think I can try to answer that one. I don't really do a lot of the technical stuff on the robot. So, I work in the media branding side of this team. So throughout the season, it's been a lot of like figuring out kind of like, I guess we can start with the difficulty. A negative thing to experience is kind of figuring out how to, tell like my team members who are like my fellow students, like to boss them around, I guess, kind of, and to assign them jobs to do, make sure that they're getting carried out in the ways that I want them to. Like learning communication has been a really big thing with project managing, I would say specifically. And then a positive aspect is definitely, getting to see the things that we've created. Yeah, Lalitha over here, she's like one of the team members of our media team. And it's been like really nice to collaborate with her to get pictures from like different angles of events that we go to, work faster on projects like creating videos for our team and stuff. So I hope that answers it. Yeah, and then I think
So in the room,
Yeah.
other questions?
we can probably go outside if that's,
So-
yeah, we can head out.
So, all right,
Yeah.
thanks so much for all of your hard work and everything and for showing it to us. Yeah, yeah. Good to spread the word of what good work you're doing.
Have our robot names related to something related to the game. Last year was music theme, so we were 24 Karat, the Bruno Mars song. And this year, this is goldfish. Goldfish, yep.
A lot bigger than a goldfish.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in there. Yeah. You got a maximum geometry.
Place? Okay, so at our first competition combo, we were the 5th Alliance captain. And at Maynard, we were at Maynard.
Yeah, we got picked at Maynard.
We weren't Alliance captain, but we got picked by the 7th Alliance captain. But we also won an award called the Creativity Award, but no, the Quality Award for the quality of the robot. And then we went to district championships, so that's all of the top 80 teams go. And we won. We were semi-position finalists in our semi-finalists in our division, and then we won the Creativity Award for the Creativity Award.
Hey guys, we're gonna start driving.
So like,
just take a step back.
like take a step back, please.
Basically, if the light is flashing, you don't want to be.
Yeah. We normally do this as kids. Anyone? Come on.
Can you just put it on the ground and let it go pick it up, like drop it right at your feet and let it roll?
They want you to pick it up like so put it in like
Yeah, that's it.
Will it drive to go pick it up? Or you like put it on, like just leave it on the ground?
Just like throw it in there.
It's not really that good for the belt of pulling.
Thanks again. Yes, we're going to have Jake speak next. Okay. You're wanting to catch them? Is that you want both? Yeah, we can wait a few minutes. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead and talk out there. Because what I'll do in the meantime is I'll go through the PowerPoint that I have, that Kevin prepared, that tells you about the upcoming events and things like that. So let me go ahead and share that so that the folks online can see it. Yeah, yeah, I've got it called up here so I can share this. And let's see here. Where's my... Okay, so we've got folks outside, and here I will share from my screen. And there we go. All right. Okay, and we'll put it on too. Okay, so you can see here that we have gotten some good activity going at the Batteries and Brews. So Batteries and Brews is something relatively new that we started up, and it has taken place here now a couple of times at the Watershed. So it's kind of on the southwest part of the Houston metro area. And just a good time to get together and chat and talk and everything. Okay. And tomorrow, for folks that happen to be able to get to the south side of Houston, we've got the JSC, Johnson Space Center Electric Vehicle Enthusiast Club, going to have a lunch, and that will be at Chewy's. And you can see the address there online, 20975 Gulf Freeway. And so that will allow us to just get people that are in that side of town. As I mentioned, the Batteries and Brews is on the west side, so this is on the south side of town. And at that opportunity, there's one of our members who's gotten a new car, so you can go and see that at the lunch. And there's the address for the Watershed, 4820 West Belfort. And that next one will be on July 20th from 1 to 3 p.m. Oh, by the way, that lunch tomorrow is at noon. And of course, we'd like everyone who's interested to be able to partake of the KPFT EV Radio Hub show. So that is coming up every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And you can dial into 90.1 FM, or you can go to kpft.org. They have their radio signal online. And we have our vice president, David Lowy, running that show, and he encourages people to call in. So yeah, come on up, Jake. Well, we got a lot of folks in the room who have jumped outside so they can get a closer look at the students' robot up there. And I see Jake has brought a couple of nice one-wheel devices, so we'll be getting to Jake here in a minute, but I'll keep going through the rest of this PowerPoint. As far as events, there are some Clean Cities webinars, and you can see them on the screen here. And things that folks have gone to in the past and will come up again. This time in November, it'll be in Dallas, will be the Electrify Expo. In the past, it's been in Austin. So that's always a fun event, and it's a lot of hands-on. Okay, about joining the EVA, we always encourage folks to do that. And you can see some benefits here. And among those national events are the things that are coming up for National Drive Electric Month, which is from September 12th to October 12th. As I mentioned already at the beginning, September 20th, that Saturday, is when we're going to have one event. We'll see if we'll have another event or not during that month as well. And the EV1 sheet, we have some copies of those here in the room. We get those from National, and they're great to hand out to neighbors and friends. Get a quick overview of all the different brands of vehicles that are out there. And so that's a good thing. And they age very quickly. So we encourage people to take them and give them away, because we all know how quickly new cars are coming on the market. So take as many as you know you can give out to friends. That one sheet is really handy to give folks who aren't familiar with EVs an idea of how many there are out on the market. So I mentioned National Drive Electric Month. So here it's listed as September 12th through October 12th. So if you happen to be traveling, you can be able to see some of the others that are going around in the US or Canada, because there generally are a fair number of events that happen. And now that they've expanded from a week to a month, you've got more of an opportunity to catch some of those. And as mentioned here at the bottom, other opportunities would folks have asked about a rally, about test drives, about show and tell, possibly a scavenger hunt, something more like a pub crawl. So I mentioned the Watershed. They do have various beverages, but they also have food. I don't know, I guess you could call it a pub, but we just stay in one place. It's not really a pub crawl. And of course, we're always asking members and friends for ideas for more ways to talk about EVs and other folks that might want to be speakers. So one thing that we haven't gotten fully up to speed on yet is Instagram. So anybody who knows anything about Instagram would like to donate a little bit of time every month, that would be appreciated for the Instagram side of things. On the radio show, besides being able to call in, we can arrange with David Lowy. You could be a guest if there's a particular thing that you'd like to talk about. It's a half-hour show, and David puts in a couple of pre-planned activities. So it's really not a big time hit. You don't need to be talking for a long time, but if you've got something relevant to EVs that you'd like to talk about on the radio, that'd be nice. And all those get recorded, and then the archives are available for something like 6 months. And presenting a topic here is always a good thing. So we're open to all the different kinds of things. When somebody gets a new car, that's always great. So one thing that Bill has got going on is some EV tech education. So you can see Bill Swan, he's here in the building tonight. Some other opportunities here at the TXRX Labs, and we're always thankful about having this space for free for our club to use. And things that you can learn about here are the makerspace, the education, as you can see in the picture, about how to do welding and stuff. Some folks get involved in new hobbies here. Fabrication of things using all the equipment here is always good. Crafts is kind of on the lighter side, and that can all be found at the txrxlabs.org website. So it's really great that Houston's got this space available. And we've got one of our members who's upgraded to a larger EV, and so she now has one available. You can see it here on the screen, and shown here is how it is towing capable. So that's a good thing. So it's got a certain tow limit, and I believe that's why Emma decided to upgrade to a larger EV. So you can talk to her about the towing ability that this vehicle that's for sale has, the Hyundai Ioniq 5. And here's more of the details on it, including the number of miles it has and so forth, and some of the characteristics of it. And you can see Emma's email down there at the bottom, gadgetm@comcast.net. So folks can contact Emma directly about this vehicle. And something else that some of our folks have, they've got availability of this Beam car charger. And I'd seen these advertised earlier, and it's something that can be placed in a parking space, doesn't take up any more than one parking space, does not require any trenching because it does not connect to external electricity. It's all generated by the solar panels and stored in batteries, and then it's available for cars. So you can see there are no utility bills, And it's Belinda Gomez, her email there at the bottom, bgomez@speed2solutioninfo.com. And that's it. I will stop sharing. And we've got some folks wandering back into the room here now. So, Colin, if you'd like to let folks know that we're going to have Jake start in like 1 minute. Yeah, because I think it's so exciting what the students are doing with their robot. Folks could stay out there for another 2 days. We don't bring them in, but folks, of course, have the choice. They can stay out there if they really want to get involved, and I'm sure the students would like all the support they can get. But it's really interesting seeing here on the table next to me the one-wheel devices that Jake has brought. So if you, yeah, isn't that pretty wild looking? Yeah, we'll have to see if we've got enough room around the table here, if Jake will be able to ride around at the table. Mhm.
Yeah, my knees are.
The question is people's ability to balance, maybe, although maybe these devices do some of the balancing on their own. I don't know. So, Colin, did you mention folks that we're going to start up here? Okay. 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 So, Jake, if you want to come on up, I will hand you the microphone. You want to pull this one out then? Okay. That way I'll still be.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Well,
Jake.
yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me come chat about my passion, which is what we call PEVs. So you're obviously very well and familiar with the EV, which is electric vehicle. So the P is just personal in front of that. So I basically specialize in personal electric vehicles. So say again. So basically the PEVs, I kind of break it down into 5 different categories. So you have e-bikes, electric bicycles, e-scooters, which a few years ago kind of really blew up. And then you have the more niche categories, which are electric skateboards, which is exactly what you think. It's a skateboard with motors on it and a remote control, and you can accelerate. And then these are the more unique ones that I've brought to showcase today, which is, this is called a one wheel. It has one wheel. You stand on it sideways. It feels like snowboarding when you're kind of carving and doing that. And then this is what's called the EUC, or the electric unicycle. So this kind of feels like speed skiing downhill. You're standing on each side of it, and you can still carve the same. But these have become like super popular. They're getting more popular. When somebody kind of gets in the space, they eventually move over to this because it's the most compact power. So this is an entry level model. The one that I ride personally will do about 40 miles an hour, can do about 100 miles of range. And it's small enough. It weighs, they're pretty heavy. It weighs like 86 pounds. But you know, it has like a trolley handle, so you can just kind of like walk around with it like a suitcase. You never really need to pick it up. And I never need to lock it outside. I never have to worry about parking. I can just typically take it in with me anywhere because it sits so small. I can just put it in the corner of a room or what have you. So about half of our customers, we have a retail store where we do rental, sales, and service of different types of personal electric vehicles. We're fixing tires, electronics, all sorts of stuff. So the store is called Rent Eboards Houston. We just relocated. We're near Memorial Park, just east of it. We're inside the 610 loop. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the quick rundown. I'm happy to kind of answer questions people may have about these types of things and how people use them. About half our customers use them for commuting, half of them use them for kind of recreational purposes. Yeah. So yeah, the question was if it's similar to the technology of the Segway. Yes, it is, in the sense that it knows what angle you're at. So there's an accelerometer in there, and it knows what angle. So basically, as you sort of lean forward and it tilts that angle back down, it, will torque the motor in the opposite direction to keep you balanced. So, so yeah, exactly how the Segway worked. But this is, a decade or two later, and it's much more compact and way more powerful than the Segways were. These do not know. This one does have a foot sensor. So when you turn this one on, it does know if you're on it. So that when you are on, both feet are mounted and it starts bouncing. If you were to just jump off, it'll turn off. Right. Right. Yeah. These just rely on this angle changing to know which way you're wanting to lean. Yeah. You just sort of, it becomes super organic feeling. You just sort of lean and it will just go. Once you get, the learning curve is about 30 minutes on the one wheel. And I would say if you don't know how to ride a unicycle, about 2 hours on the EUC. It is easier than the unicycle because you're not having to pedal as well. It's just the balance aspect of it. But yeah, once you learn on both of these, it feels like an extension of your body. It feels very organic. You just kind of think about where you want to go and it feels like it just takes you there. Yes. Yeah, so here in Texas, there's no requirement. Like you can ride a motorcycle on I-10 with no helmet if you wanted to. But we always wear a helmet and wrist guards at the very least, because if you fall, these are hand-free. It's not like a bike where you've got handlebars. If you fall, you're going to stick your hands out, and so to protect your wrists, that's kind of the first thing that hits. So helmet and wrist guards. On the EUCs, they go a lot faster. The one wheel will max out about 20 miles an hour. Whereas the EUCs will go faster. These usually will wear like a full face helmet, not just like a skateboard helmet. And then for the ones that go a lot faster, one of my employees, he kind of wears full motorcycle gear. So he's got like a chest plate, like a jacket that protects his elbows, and then he wears like knee guards, wrist guards, and a full face helmet. So yeah, he could slide across the freeway and be fine. Yeah, so we try for the most part, we try to stay off the sidewalks like bicycles. So we try to like stay in bike lanes and kind of do what bicycles would do. We sort of treat ourselves like class 2 e-bikes. On the ones that go faster, you will find us like lane splitting and whatnot, and there's no like real rules on it. Some of our customers have like any encounters we've had with law enforcement have just been like, that's cool, be safe. There's not really any sort of like legislation around it, but as the industry grows and whatnot, I would love to see some actual regulations around these and potentially even some like infrastructure built for them, and wider bike lanes so they can account for like faster moving personal vehicles. All right. We gotta bring back the hockey on the electric unicycles. That's awesome. There is like really the only competitive sport is really racing. So there's two. I know Electrify Expo was mentioned earlier. Electrify Expo does have like races, and they will have like a track on street built out like a go-kart track esque, and people will race all different classes of personal electric vehicles. That's one side of it. The other side of it is actually off-road racing. So we'll go, there's events that are across the country. We'll go and race downhill mountain bike trails, both on the one wheels and the unicycles. Yeah, it sounds more dangerous than it is. But yeah, those are fun. Yes. Great question. Price range. So the one wheels, the entry level model starts at $750. And then this one's about 2,000, and they go all the way up to like 3,500. The unicycles, this one is 1,200. This one's a really good like beginner to intermediate wheel. And then more expensive ones are also around like 4,000 range. Yeah, so we do rent them. We rent like e-bikes, scooters, and then these as well. You can kind of rent whatever. The unicycle is the only thing we require. If you don't have any experience, that we offer lessons. For your first time, we require the lessons on those for the first time. But yeah, we do. Say again. It starts hourly. We have both. So it's typically about like 39 an hour. We also have like half day rates or like full day rates, or even like a week if you like wanted it for longer. But yeah. Oh yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, we have people do that, or sometimes people will rent them going to Galveston, want to ride around the seawall, that sort of stuff. Yes. So the one wheel, you're kind of limited by the physical front of it. So if you're going up something that's, steeper than this, like you're gonna, you're gonna just touch the nose. This doesn't have that same limitation because of the way that it's angled. And these will, the one that I ride will climb a tree if you could stay on it. Like they're insanely torquey. That the FRC robot had a 12-volt battery. The one I ride has a 134-volt battery. They're very, very torquey. And the motor is this big. It's in the wheel. So it's like a 12-inch rim motor. So they're insanely powerful. So yeah. You're sort of limited on like your skill before the and the angle. You can stop pretty much as fast as you can accelerate, which is pretty quick. You sort of just lean back to slow down. A lot of advanced riders will put pads on the side for your like shins and calves, so you can lean against it to help accelerate and kind of lean against it, allowing you to push your weight forward more. And then same for braking. You can lean against it and you can really lean back. Right. Of how, yeah. When I'm slowing down on the EUC, if I need to stop in an emergency, like stop really quickly, I will throw my weight back so far that I basically actually sit behind it. So I kind of slow down and like you just sit behind it. Yeah, you can sort of grab the front if you need to. But yeah, you sort of to like sit behind it and you can slow down pretty quickly. No, it's similar to a bicycle. I mean, if you could do a track stand, then maybe. I've been practicing like riding backwards, and so which is like it feels like inverted controls, like it just so I can sort of like rock to not fall like at a stoplight. I'll do that or something like that. Or sometimes I'll just like pull up next to a car and I'll stick one finger and all I need is one finger to stay balanced. But similar to a bicycle, you need that forward momentum to be able to stay balanced. On the one wheel, however, the wheel is so much wider that there is enough surface area that you can just sort of, once you get your balance and you get good at it, you can just stand there without moving. Yes. Yeah, a few years ago we did like an event to really push that limit. We did like in Galveston, we did a 100-mile ride on the one wheels back when their range was only like 15 miles. We had a trailer with generators charging one, and we would ride another one, and then we would like switch every few miles. And it took all day, but we did 100 miles in a day. So for the one wheels, like this range is. Like this will go like 20 to 30 miles on a charge. So that's kind of like, you're just kind of limited by that. On the unicycles though, like you can really push like closer to 50, 60, or depending on if you're going pretty slow, you could theoretically squeeze 100 miles out of a battery. So yeah. And the unicycles, you can go a lot faster. So you could like deplete the battery, charge up in a day, and then keep going again. So, but yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Let me look that up real quick. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of if you hit under ground, that's a real problem. Is that correct?
So no. So you can kind of, I mean, if it's super loose or like super loose sands, then yeah, just like a bicycle, like you're not going to have a whole lot of luck. But right, exactly. the nice thing about the unicycles, a lot of the newer ones have suspensions. This one actually has suspension in it. So there's an air shock on each side. And so if you're hitting bumps and that sort of stuff, it can just eat a lot of that chunk. So a lot of the batteries, like the one that I ride that have been referencing, has a 2400 watt hour battery. So 2.4, yeah. Yeah, kilowatt, yeah. You guys are used to the car measurement. Yeah. Big batteries, yeah. Yes.
You're using your upper body to kind of go forward and go backwards and all that stuff. If you rode it a pretty good way, would it physically tire you? Is it like
Yes. It is core. The more experience you get, like these use new muscle groups that I haven't found another sport that uses it. Like snowboarding uses different muscle groups. Like it's so when you will get fatigued very early on when you're and people who have never ridden before, when they first get on, when they have like, the baby deer syndrome where they're just shaking their legs until they build those muscles. Once you're experienced and you're not worried about that sort of fatigue, yes, it's just like standing for a long period of time, because you're also like, as you hit bumps, your legs are eating that chunk. So maybe similar to like mountain biking. And then really your feet get sore. Some of the unicycles, like the one that I have, it's a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit taller. So it sits up higher between your legs and you can actually sit on it. So you could take a break and just sit down, but still be cruising. But for the most part, you do stand. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, anyone online have questions? Either you can put them in the chat or you can ask them live, Jake.
Sweet.
But yeah, I was gonna ask if there's enough room.
Yeah,
around
yeah, I
people
can.
there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's plenty of
You
room.
can go ahead and put them.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate the time.
Oh, that is a sharp turn. Yeah, I thought you'd have to go around the table to be able to turn, but you can turn in front of the table. Yeah.
And the unicycle requires a little more space.
I see the shocks that you mentioned as it bounced there a little.
Yeah, so you can see there is but this one you just sort of, again, lean where you want to go. Oh, go.
So it really is like a unicycle without pedaling.
Without pedaling.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
And I can see Fred was wanting to do his unicycle hockey playing again. Yeah, 2 thumbs up, Fred. So, all right, more questions either online or in the room.
Yeah, so the one wheels, since there's no suspension, you sometimes want to run them a little bit lower so you can have some of that shock absorption back. So those are typically like 15 to 23 PSI.
15 to 23 PSI. 30 to 40 PSI. Okay. Good. So Jake, do you want any adventurous people to come up and try standing on the one wheel? Yeah. There you go. That's the way for folks that are interested. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Jake. Okay. So yeah, folks can buttonhole Jake and ask him more questions. But so I went through the meeting start PowerPoint in the middle, and that's fine. So I think I covered everything. As I mentioned, September 20th is a date you can put on your calendars for a save the date that Saturday. So we'll have an event, and of course encourage all the members to bring their cars out. They have a nice big parking lot at the front of the 1940 Air Terminal Museum. We were there once before and it worked out real well. And the folks inside are really friendly. Also an all volunteer museum type setup. And you're allowed then during the day when we have our cars there to go inside, you can take a look around and things like that. And then you go all the way through the building and you're actually out on the ramp at Hobby Airport. There is no physical fence between you and the airplanes, lots of Southwest airplanes taking off, and you're right there watching them. And then folks will bring in, there's a guy who often brings in his little single wing, not a biplane, Tiger airplane. So a little personal airplane, and then some others. And actually last time we were there, we had fun. We took Colin's Cybertruck and parked it out next to the 1920 something model Texaco gasoline Ford Model A type truck. And that was really a great juxtaposition, having those two vehicles next to each other on the ramp there. So we'll see what kind of fun we can have this September too. So encouraging people to join in on that, encouraging people to join in on David Lowy's every Wednesday KPFT program. And you can find out all about that online. And if there are no other items that folks want to bring up, we will end things for this month. Hope to see folks at the Batteries and Brews at the Watershed coming up in a couple weeks. And tomorrow is the lunch for folks that want to make it to the south side of Houston, noon at Chewy's on the Gulf Freeway. So everyone's invited. All right, that's it then. Thanks, folks.